I'm in between my freshman and sophomore years of college, and I am working for the YMCA. I'm a day camp counselor, and I've got the 5- and 6-year-olds. And my whole world for the summer is about poops and fart jokes. I mean, this is pretty much their whole existence. Somebody farted on the bus, I need to go poop, this or that. And my only break from the little 5- and 6-year-old is the 1 week that the YMCA is going to send me up to residence camp up at Howard Prairie Lake in Southern Oregon. I've never been camping in my entire life. I'm about to go on an adventure of the blind leading the blind. The way I grew up, upper middle class, East Bay suburbs of California for the most part, our idea of roughing it was staying in a hotel that only had an indoor pool. Okay, that was just how it was. So I've never been camping, and they put me in charge of a cabin full of 10-year-olds. And if you think the 5- and 6-year-olds are up to eyeballs in poop and fart jokes, 10-year-olds, it's like, it's their hobby. They haven't discovered girls yet. So this is what they're up to. And I swear to God, it's like they did a personality and psychological screening of the 2 cabins of 10-year-olds, and they said, all the normal little good little Christian children are gonna go over here to Larry, who's the golden boy of the YMCA, and they're gonna send the rest of them over to me. I've got the 10-year-old version of Mr. Cotter's Sweat Hog class for the cabin. And I've got the first kid that pulls up, his dad is wearing a Dead Kennedys t-shirt. And the kid himself, 10 years old, has like a mohawk that looks more like a duck's ass on the back. And his name is Talon, as in a claw on a bird that will gnaw your fucking eyes out. And he just looks like trouble. So I get him, I get Talon, I get this other kid named Max, who literally, they tell me, is a genius. And he's showing me like the theory of gravity along the side of the lake. And while the other kids are splashing around and playing in mud, he's trying to, teach me something, which, was humbling. And then I get Danny. And Danny is this shy kid who obviously got sent to camp against his will because he is afraid of everything. He's afraid of where he's going to go to the bathroom. He is afraid that he's going to fart and people are going to hear it. He is afraid kind of his own shadow. And Danny's missing his mom, and he's crying, and he's embarrassed in front of all these other people. And finally, around day 2, I pull him aside, and I say, hey, Danny, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I have never camped in my life. I am as lost as you. These wooden bunks, I'm afraid of where I'm gonna poop in the middle of the night. I'm afraid of the outhouse too. So when you need to go in the middle of the night, you just wake me up and I will take you down there. And we'll get through this together. He's afraid of being seen naked in the shower. So I'm doing like math. If there's 3 showers and I've got 10 campers, how do I arrange this in such a way that Danny can be in the shower all by himself? And so this bunch of rebel kids who originally wanted to name our cabin the Mac Daddies because the biggest song of the summer was Baby Got Back. And you haven't heard Sir Mix-a-Lot, so you've heard a 10-year-old say, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. And so finally I say, no, we can't call it the Mac Daddies. We finally settle on Boys in the Wood. And they're a great bunch of kids, and we're having fun, and I'm teaching them the 5-second rule in the mess hall. The other big song of the summer is the song by Criss Cross, Jump, and they're the little preteen little rap duo that's wearing their clothes all backwards. So we do the totally crossed out breakfast where we're all dressing backwards, and Danny, of course, has to change behind the cabin because he's afraid of everybody seeing him change because they might see his pee-pee and all this stuff. So, and I'm just courting, I'm just kind of courting this kid, and we go and we do the totally crossed out thing. But by the end of the week, the funny thing happens is Talon turns out to be the nicest kid I've ever met. He's amazing. If you forgot a towel, he knew to like pack an extra. You got your shirt dirty, he's got an extra. And then Danny is like taking to me. He's going jogging with me in the morning and stuff like that. A lesson I learned from Meatballs. I kind of took the Bill Murray approach to like how to mentor a kid who doesn't fit in. But he's making me crafts in camp, he's like made me the trophy for like best counselor in camp. And it's nice because I'm feeling like an outcast, like I don't have a clue what I'm doing. And so I tell this story a couple of months ago when half of Criss Cross died. Half of that little duo died. He was like 32 years old, and he died of suspicion of drug suspicion or something like that. And I tell this to a work colleague, and they said, that's a really cute story. Does it ever occur to you that Danny and this other kid, they're like 31 now. They're like, you're pushing 40. That means that they're in their early 30s. And you know this in your conscious mind, but you're locked in forever. There are these 10-year-old kids who are all about poops and farts and stuff like that. But I'm sitting there doing the math. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, a kid like Danny's 30, and Talon might be 30, and law of averages, one of them may have had a kid really young, like I did. And they may be sending their kid off to camp this summer. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, as my friend reminds this to me, that we're all getting older, of they're locked forever in your mind at a certain age, even though that you know that they're older. So in the same way that I remember Danny forever as 10, if he is sending a kid off to camp, I hope that his story isn't about poops and farts, but it might be, maybe might be, about the 19-year-old counselor that he had that made it all a little bit better. And if that's how he remembers me, then that's not a bad way to go.